Yeah. Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bangum Langayate Kirim Yat Tamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashya Tadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Just, just give me a second. Yeah. So, Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So it's a quite interesting topic. I think we all are relishing and are blessed to be part of this Kartik Damodar program. So many devotees we could see that are going around and doing various programs. So this month started, this auspicious month in this year started on the 17th of last month, that is October, and will end, this November, which is the Kartik Purnima. So basically from Purnima to Purnima, Sharat Purnima to the Kartik Purnima. So very auspicious month, and as we all know that this month is so special, that so dear to Krishna and so dear to Srimati Radharani. So whatever activity we perform, even it is very little seva, just offering a simple lamp in this month of Kartik can actually give loads of blessings. And many lifetimes of sins gets washed away just by offering a simple lamp to Lord Damodara in this auspicious month. So we know that, so this Bhishma Panchaka is basically the last 5 days of the Kartik month. So this month is full of festivals, as we know. We had Diwali, we have Govardhan Puja, we had recently Gopashtami, a very special day, where Gopashtami is the day Krishna was given in charge of cows. He was promoted from grazing the calves to cows. Very special day. And a lot of leelas happened that Radharani also wanted to take part, seeing Krishna grazing cows. So she dresses as Subal, and then she puts the Subal Saka's dress, and then she goes. That's where Radharani's lotus feet can be seen, and we saw in Vrindavan, Radha Sham Sundar very beautifully dressed up. Radharani was dressed up like Subal, and she was wearing the dhoti, and one can see the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So like that, we see so many beautiful festivals in the Radha Kunda appearance. Then we see that starting with the Sharat Purnima, which is also the in the moonlight, how this beautiful rasa dance happens, and then how the gopis are feeling great separation. The gopi Geet came from that. And then we see the last day is also Rasa Purnima. That is also very, very special, which we call it as Kartik Purnima. So this last 5 days are called Vishnu Panchaka. And then these are the last 5 days where one has to intensify all the spiritual activities. Whatever we have been doing in this month, we have to intensify in the last 5 days, starting from Ekadasi to Purnima. This year it is only 4 days because of the Dwadasi, Ekadasi is like almost close. So it's like only 4 days we have this month. So these are very, very special days called as Vishnu Panchaka. Grandfather Bhishma Dev followed this vrata, this Kartik vrata in the last 5 days, and it became very special as Bhishma Panchaka. Because Bhishma Dev followed it, it became famously known as Bhishma Panchaka. And we see that Bhishma Dev, very, very special personality. Why we should follow Bhishma Panchaka? Of course, the Kartik Vrata is all the scriptures are recommending, so we are following. But now we see that Bhishma Dev has followed, and then we following in the footsteps of Bhishma Dev. It is mentioned that Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajanas. Mahajana means great personalities. And the scriptures talks about 12 great personalities. And Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajanas. Mahajana ena gata sapanta. We should follow the footsteps of the great personalities because they show the direction. And because Bhishma Dev followed it, and we are also following them. And Bhishma Dev, very great personality. We see in Mahabharata, Bhishma Pitama, he's known for so many of his wonderful qualities, amazing qualities. In fact, we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, the passing away of Bhishma Dev is very elaborately described. And also the prayers of Bhishma Dev when he was in the, arrow bed. That's also given very beautifully. We will read that verses. Around 10 verses are there. We will read it out. And Bhishma Dev, as we know, one of the 12 Mahajanas, and also is the son of Maharaj Santanu and Ganga Devi. So, son of Ganga Maya. And little bit introduction to that history, we see that Maharaj Shantanu, when he got married to Ganga Devi said that, there is a condition on which I would accept this proposal. And the condition is that you should never question me of any of my activities, what I'm doing. If you question me, I will leave you and go. So then we see that how Maharaj Shantanu, Ganga Devi gave birth to a child, and then she would go and put the child in the, in the river. So one by one she was doing that. So Shantanu Maharaj was a bit bewildered, but then he didn't want to ask anything because then Ganga Devi may leave. So, but then after the 7th child, he could not, tolerate it anymore. When the 8th child was, then he raised this question, and Ganga Devi said that now it's time for me to leave. So we see that, and then later, of course, so these 8 sons are, they actually got a curse before, and then they were supposed to be born as the sons of Ganga Devi. They are Ashtavasus who got, because they stole one sacrificial cow, and then they got cursed by the sage. So they, got to come down to this material world. So then in that way, they became the sons of Ganga Devi. So the last child was the Devavrata, that is our Bhishma Dev. So Devavrata was very, very, a very wonderful personality, and he made, we see that, so he was under the care of Shantanu Maharaj. So one day when Shantanu Maharaj went for hunting, then he actually smelled some very nice, fragrance coming from somewhere. So he went in search and where it is coming, and then he found it is coming from a fisherman's house, and actually it is coming from a beautiful lady called Satyavati. And then basically Satyavati got this boon from Parasara Muni, and that actually she was, she came out of a fish. So her body was smelling like a fish, Matsya Gandhi. But then Parasara Muni, on an auspicious time, he felt that, a great soul can, come at this point of time, then he would benefit the whole world. So then through her, he got this child called Vyasadeva. And then he gave a benediction also for her that she will have this very special fragrance, that fish smell, will be gone. And then she will be having this very special fragrance of a musk, like from her body. And that's why this Shantanu Maharaj, when he was going in search of this fragrance, he found Satyavati and then he wanted to marry her. But then the fisherman said that, the condition is that, if you marry my daughter, her sons should become the king. They should become the king. But, Devavrata is already there, born of Ganga. So the king was very disturbed by this proposal. So he was actually he became very morose and he was all the time thinking about it. He was not able to focus on the, royal duties. So Devavrata came to know this. And then he felt that he should do something. So he went straight to, Satyavati's house and then he spoke to the fisherman. And then he said that she was under the care of a fisherman. And then she said that, my daughter's son should become the king. Okay, that's not a problem. They can become the king. But what if you get a child and tomorrow they claim the throne, then that will be a problem. So then immediately Devavrata made a Dridavrata. He made a very solemn vow that I will not marry at any time. So he made a very solemn, terrific vow. That's why it's called Bhishma, one who made a terrific vow. So then, and we see throughout he was sticking to it. So, you see that there are many discussions where they say that if Santanu Maharaj was, married Ganga Devi, and then if he has not gone to another woman, then Devavrata would have become king and then everything would have gone very nicely. But because he lost control of his senses, the history became, things become changed. And then we see the whole story comes from there, And Satyavati had these two children, and then one of them was Vichitra Virya. So then actually, this is important because we will understand the reason behind it. That's why I'm telling this little background. So Satyavati is one of the sons is Vichitra Virya. And so one time, Bhishma Dev has to go and find suitable bride for Vichitra Virya. So he went to one of the, he heard that in one particular place, there are three beautiful princes. And then the Swayambara ceremony was arranged. So he thought that he will abduct all of them and then bring for Vichitra Virya to marry. So when he went there, what happened was he, of course, abducted all three of them, all three princes, and brought them. And they were Ambika, Ambika, and Ambalika. But then Amba said that, I can't marry, Vichitra Virya because I already gave my heart to Salva. But I couldn't tell you that. So then he said that, no, okay, then Bhishmadev understood that, okay, no problem, you please go back. You go back and, you get connected to Salva. But Salva said that, no, now you got abducted and you have taken for some other king. I cannot accept you. So he rejected. So then she came to Vichitravirya. Vichitravirya also rejected. Then he said that, okay, you only abducted me, so you have to marry now because there is no one else. But then Bhishmadev said that I have already taken a vow, so I can't marry. So now everyone rejected. So then Amba, she got very upset and then she prayed to Lord Shiva and then she asked for a benediction and then she became Shikandi in the next life. And she became the cause of Bhishmadev's, disappearance, which we will see shortly. So this is a little story to see, but we see that Bhishma Dev, right from the beginning, he did not marry. For his father, he gave his youth. He sacrificed his youth. He's a symbol, or it's a symbol of sacrifice. Generally, father sacrifices for the child, right? But then here we see the son is sacrificing for his father's happiness. So for father to remarry, Bhishma Dev is giving up his own youth, all his dreams. And then not only he looked after Vichitra Satyavati's sons, and then Satyavati's sons. That is like, the Kauravas and Pandavas, So like that, you'll see that a whole lot of not only the grandsons. So like that, you see he was completely looking after the entire Kuru dynasty, given his whole life for the well-being of the whole dynasty. A very selfless act, and so from we can see as a very duty-bound person. Even he was not obliged to do all this, but then, because he didn't give a promise to Satyavati that I'm going to look after your children and all that. He didn't say anything. Already he has given his youth, given his position, power, everything. On top of it, he extended himself to look after his stepmother's, sons, and then their sons, and then further on till the end, till Yudhishthira Maharaj got coronated. He was there fully and saw so many obstacles, challenges, so many things happened. And he didn't do anything for his own self, but yet he got caught, in this, the problem with this Amba and Amba's curse. So we see that, but yet he was so determined. So this is from a duty, from a person who is very dutiful. But the other side, we see that he had a great love for Krishna. He knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he knew how much Krishna loved the Pandavas. And then he himself was very inclined towards Pandavas because, Dharma was on their side. And he knew that how Kunti Devi and all of them went through so many problems, atrocities by Duryodhana. So he was always there to, give. Though sometimes he has to, defend, or he has to stand against the Pandavas, externally speaking, but internally his heart was always there, for the Pandavas. And then, so even when he was in the when he was actually, Bhishma Dev was so powerful that, nobody could kill him, and no one would be able to kill him also. And he was fighting so amazingly that at one point of time, the entire, because initially, Bhishma Dev, Duryodhana was thinking that Bhishma Dev is not actually really fighting because he has got a soft corner for all the Pandavas. So one time he has to even, hint Bhishma Dev, then, he had to even chastise in a very different, very diplomatic way, to, Bhishma Dev that, you are so soft towards his Pandavas. So then Bhishma Dev actually was very hurt, but then he still fought. And then that time, so many Pandavas side, so many people were destroyed and killed. And then the next day, Duryodhana was very confident the Pandavas would be defeated completely. So unless Bhishma Dev is killed, or Bhishma Dev is defeated, I mean, nobody can, the Pandavas have no chance. So at this point of time, Krishna, indicated. And then Pandavas are going, after the daytime war is over, then in the evening they are going to grandfather Bhishma's, camp. And just imagine, Arjuna was put in such a very awkward situation that he has to ask that, please tell me how I can kill you. Just imagine, it's so difficult for Arjuna to ask such a question because Arjuna was so, dear to Bhishma Dev. And both of them had so much love for each other. And to ask such a question. But then Bhishma Dev was so happy. He said that finally you asked this question. I was waiting when you will ask the question because he wanted to help them, So when will you ask this question? I was waiting. And then he said that I got one curse by Amba that if you put Shikandi in the front, because Amba only came as Shikandi. So if you put Shikandi in the front as a chariot driver, and then no, put him in the front, and then you fight, then I cannot take, because in front of the women I cannot, I will not be able to take weapons. So that's the only way you can shoot me. So then when Arjuna got this, and then the next day they put Shikandi in the front, and then Bhishma Dev could not do anything. And he immediately, Arjuna, shot the arrow, and then Bhishma Dev was in the bed of arrows. We know that. Even when he was in the bed of arrows, Bhishma Dev, the mood, he was like, because, yeah, when he gave his youth for his father Shantanu, he became very pleased. Oh, what a son, that he has sacrificed his youth. And I didn't even ask him, but he himself went and spoke with Satyavati, spoke with his, father, and then sorted out everything. For my enjoyment, he has done everything. So I am giving him a boon that he can die at any time he likes. Ichamrityu. So the time you desire to leave this body, you can do it. What a great bumper prize that is. Because that is what is a difficult thing in this world. No one knows when anyone will go. And then there is no time. For some people, there is time to prepare. Some people, no time to prepare. But then here, Bhishma Deva has got this very great boon that he can, leave when he desires. So that's a very great benediction he got from his father. And then and now, after he was in the bed of the arrows, he was waiting for the right time to come. Of course, they say that, there is Uttarayanam and Dakshinayanam and all that. It's like sun in the northern hemisphere, sun in the southern hemisphere, because Uttarayanam is considered to be the first 6 months, is considered to be the most auspicious time. When one leaves the body, they go to the heavenly planets and things like that. And if someone leaves in the Dakshinayam. But then Prabhupada very beautifully explains, and Krishna also in the Bhagavad Gita has mentioned that, for a devotee, it is not about which time of the season, or which day, or which auspicious time he lives. That doesn't count. What counts, Krishna says, is that whatever you think at the time of death, that is the state you will achieve. You will attain without fail. Yam yam vapi spanan bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So what matters is to remember Krishna at the time of death. That is the most important, thing one has to actually cultivate or develop. That's why it is mentioned that a very nice Prabhupada writes, the highest ambition for a pure devotee is to remember Krishna all the time. That's the highest ambition, that not even a second I should not be forgetting, should not be remembering Krishna. I should be always remembering Krishna. That's the highest ambition. They don't even desire to go back to Godhead, but they want to remember Krishna all the time. That's the highest ambition of a pure devotee. And then here we see that, Bhishma Pitama also, when he was in the arrow bed, he was actually waiting for Krishna to come. So that, he wanted to see Krishna's beautiful lotus face and then leave the body. And at the same time, Krishna wanted to the mood of the devotee is to glorify Krishna all the time, speak the glories, how Krishna's glories can be spread everywhere in the world, far and wide. That's the mood of a pure devotee, because the most dearest Lord, my lovable Lord, the most compassionate personality, his glories has to be spread all over the world. So his heart is flooding with love, to spread his glories all over the world. And Krishna is also have so much love for his devotees that he wants to glorify his devotees. So Bhishma Dev, so Krishna wanted to glorify Bhishma Dev. So what did he say to Yudhishthira Maharaj? Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was very heartbroken after the war finished, because he felt that because of him, so many people have died. Actually, he was not the reason, as we all know. It is because of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, because of that, because there are so many negotiation, peace negotiation was made, They didn't accept for anything. They only wanted war. That's why it happened. But the pure devotee is someone who has mood of always, they are free from the propensity to find fault in others or criticize others. So they always take all the blame on themselves. Okay, it's because of me, so many people have, lost their lives, so many people have lost their relationships and everything, and they are all suffering because of me. So he was so heartbroken, and everyone were trying to console him, but he was not at all, nobody could comfort him. So then Krishna actually wanted, told Yudhishthira Maharaj, you please come now, all of us will go to see Bhishma Dev. Because Bhishma Dev is also one of the desire was that because Bhishma Dev saw how the Pandavas went through so much suffering. Because we know right from the beginning, the Kauravas were actually planning a lot of things, to put Pandavas, somehow to kill the Pandavas. They made the lac house, and, they burned them, and then poison, they gave poison, mixed in the food. So many different things they, tried, plotted to kill the Pandavas. So Bhishma Dev was aware of it, and he knew that the righteousness, dharma is on their side, and he wanted them, to take this position, because he was so all these days, right from the beginning till, the war, he was actually waiting the right person to sit on the throne, because he was very concerned that it has to be ruled, it should not be used, it should not be exploited by any demonic personalities, like the Kauravas. So he was waiting for the time, and he is now so happy that Yudhishthira Maharaj is now will be the king. So Krishna said that, Bhishma Dev will be very happy. Now all of you get ready. Now let's go and then see Bhishma Dev. And then, so they all got, dressed up in their, proper royal clothing. And then they all went from Hastinapur to Kurukshetra, where Bhishma Pitama is lying on the bed of arrows. And then when he saw all of them, he became very pleased, to see them, in that royal dress. And then he was so very pleased. And then, and then only we see that, there are many sections in Mahabharata where we see that Bhishma Dev, Krishna is requesting, to give instructions to Yudhishthira Maharaj about the duties of the king. So all these are very beautifully. Even before that, we see that when the Pandavas came, all the great rishis, sages, and many, many great personalities came to see Bhishma Dev to honor him, because the great Vaishnava is lying here, is a great warrior, is lying here, with all his majesty. So they came to honor him. At the time, even though Bhishma Dev, is full of beda, he can't even move anything, and neither he can raise his hands or, do anything. But yet he is actually welcoming everyone, with the sweet words, and giving them, that respect. So it is mentioned that, that's why they say, even when people come home, the Atiti Seva, how to receive guests. Even if someone is very poor, they can't offer the guest many valuable things, at least water and some sweet words one should offer. And we see that Bhishma Dev, even lying on the, bed of arrows, it's not bed of roses. Yet, even in that situation, he's following the etiquette, he's following the dharma, he's following, the duty. He's actually, as a Vaishnava, he's doing everything, which is pleasing to the Lord. So that is very amazing. Good times one may be able to do many things, and he's not obligated to do all this also. Someone who is sick, someone who is almost going to leave the body. What etiquette one can expect from such a person? And no one would expect either. But then we see Bhishma Dev as a Mahajana setting the example. Just like an Acharya, it's Achar. He sets an example by his own, he sets example by his own, behavior. Similarly, we see that the Mahajanas, they set, that values and exemplary, behavior, their life itself is an example. We see that they just don't give instruction, but they are like follow those instructions as well. And we see that Bhishma Dev is, even in that condition, he's receiving and honoring every single personality. Of course, first offering respect to Krishna and to all the Pandavas, to all the sages and everyone. So like that, when we read the Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, passing away of Bhishma Dev, amazing. We should read Srila Prabhupada's purport, and we can understand, oh my God, how glorious is Bhishma Dev, his qualities, his attitude, his mood, and his love for Krishna. So wonderful, so amazing. Such an amazing grandfather, for Pandavas. And then, so in that way, we see that he honors everybody. They have come to honor him, but he honors and respects everybody. That's the mood of the pure devotee. So when we read all this as a conditioned soul, then we it actually uplifts our consciousness to see that, oh, where am I? What am I doing? And see the Mahajanas. Wow, what an example they are setting. Then naturally our heart gets attracted to these personalities. When our heart gets attracted to these personalities and their qualities, then naturally what happens? That itself is a blessing, because we are getting attracted to a pure devotee. And when we get attracted to a pure devotee, naturally it attracts Krishna's mercy. So that is why it is so important for us to read and hear about these great personalities, the pure devotees. Pure devotees' life not only inspires us, but we develop an attraction towards them. And then when we keep reading about them, the attraction turns to affection for them. And when we keep reading and keep hearing again and again about them, the affection turns to attachment. Attachment to the lotus feet of the pure devotee is a perfection. That is a perfection. If we can get attached to a pure devotee. That's the way in the Guru Puja song also we say attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master fulfills all this. So attachment to the pure devotee, one can attain all perfection. That actually, that means Krishna is like easy to conquer, because we got attached to the pure devotees. So that is why hearing and reading constantly about these personalities will help us to develop that attraction. And then we see that, so in that way, that whole pastime, Srila Prabhupada's purport, very beautifully Prabhupada is glorifying so much about Bhishma Dev. Very, very nice. We will just read the prayers of Bhishma Dev before we begin to say about Bhishma Panchaka, because Bhishma Panchaka is all about the Bhishma Panchaka Vrata. When we are doing, we have to remember Bhishma Dev on the Ekadasi, that is tomorrow. But if I do not know this personality, how can I even remember him? Or even if I think about him, what will I be able to think about him? I need to know something about that person, right? So then when I remember that person, our heart will melt. We feel that, that attraction, we feel that respect, we feel, the mood to beg for the mercy. So we need to know more about them. So at least we can little bit at least try to know, so that when we are remembering, we are able to truly, from our heart appreciate them. So I'll just thought the prayers just we will read only the translation when you get time. This 5 days are so important. We will see what are the different things we can do on this 5 days. One of the important thing is that we can read Srimad Bhagavatam, or any scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the scriptures every day. Normal days we would have done Kartik, we would have done something more, but this last 5 days we should intensify. Our reading should be more, hearing should be more, chanting should be more. So especially we can focus on this chapter, first canto, 9th chapter. It is all about Bhishma Dev, so it will be really nice. I just thought I will probably try to share the screen if possible. Am I allowed to share? Yeah, okay. Just give me a second. Yeah, I think I've taken this. Especially from the verse. Are you able to see here?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this is the text 32 to I think nearly 9 verses or something, 9 or 10 is the prayers of Bhishmadev. We will quickly read it so we can understand. So Bhishmadev, now he's looking at Krishna's lotus face. Yeah, because Krishna is just in front of him and then he is offering his prayers. Bhishmadev said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties. In the all powerful Lord Shri Krishna, he is always self satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the material world is created. Shri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the tamala tree. His body attracts everyone in the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face, covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp, be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results. So now he's gazing at the beautiful face of Krishna, and he's actually saying how Krishna's dress, what color dress he's wearing, the yellow dress, and the lotus face is covered with a lot of paintings of sandalwood pulp. Its body resembles like a tamal tree, bluish color, and is very dear to Arjuna. So now let my object of, just like we say, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatame. Let Lord Jagannath be the object of my vision. Like that he says, let Lord Krishna be the object of my attraction. On the battlefield where Sri Krishna attended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, and because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna. Because when Bhishma Dev was showering flowers, I mean, sorry, not flowers, when arrows, actually, when it hit Krishna, it was like Krishna took it as like a flowers. There is a beautiful temple in India, I mean, in south of India, Chennai. It's called Parthasarathi, you know, because Bhishma Dev's favorite form of Krishna is Parthasarathi form. Parthasarathi means who became Sarathi of Partha. Partha is Arjuna. He became the chariot driver of Arjuna. That is the form Bhishma Dev loves so much. Where, he was wearing that, the dress, and then, his face was having, this perspiration, and then, his body was wounded with these arrows, and and all this, it shows the love he has for his devotee Arjuna. And I love to see that form. In obedience to the command of his friend Lord Shri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana, and while there he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy. Let my mind be fixed upon that Krishna. See how wonderful, Krishna, Arjuna says to Krishna, my dear Krishna, please bring the chariot in front of both the armies so that I can see who has come to fight against me. We see in Bhagavad Gita, this words comes. And then Krishna brings, because Arjuna is instructing. Actually, Krishna is a master. Generally, a master instructs and the servant follows. But here, the servant instructs. The servant becomes a master. And then the master is becoming a servant. Amazing, isn't it? Because of the love for his devotee. And then just by glancing at the opposite party, he reduced their lifespan. So Arjuna could easily win them. So that is Krishna. So let my mind be fixed upon that Merciful Krishna. When Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction. Because we know that Arjuna was put in Yoga Maya, that Arjuna got bewildered. Oh, how will I fight? I cannot fight, And then Krishna has to speak the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhishma Dev is appreciating, glorifying Krishna. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction. Fulfilling my vow and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garment on the way. So we see one beautiful picture. Maybe we'll try to see, maybe if someone can Google it. There is a picture where in the battlefield, Krishna is lifting a wheel and running towards Bhishma Dev, and then Arjuna is holding Krishna's, feet, because Krishna made a promise that I am not going to take any weapon and I am not going to fight. But here what is happening is that Bhishma Dev was actually fighting so vigorously that, to protect Arjuna, Krishna is actually jumping out of the chariot, taking a wheel and running towards Bhishma to kill. Out of love for his devotee, he is ready to break his own promise. And we see in other side, of course, Arjuna is very worried. We see in the picture also, Arjuna is, oh my lord, you have made a promise, you're going to break it. And then other side, Bhishma Dev wanted to see that the Lord breaks the promise for his devotee. And then Krishna fulfills that desire of Bhishma Dev, and then he jumps out and then he takes the wheel and then he's running towards Bhishma Dev. So, and he's running with such a love that even his outer garment fell off, but then he didn't even bother to pick it up. So that is the love of Krishna for his devotees, especially for here Arjuna. May he, Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead who awards salvation, be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. Even the enemies, whoever was there, everyone who saw, the Lord, they went back. They got liberation. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajadama, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Rasa dance. At the Rajasuya Yajna sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Shri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remember the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. As we know in Yudhishthira Maharaj Rajasuya, how the Lord was given that, worship. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord Shri Krishna now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one, So finally, Sudha Goswami said that the Bhishma merged himself in the super soul of Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, and thus he became silent and his breathing stopped. So beautiful prayers composed by Bhishma Dev. So that's why Bhagavatam is full of, a lot of prayers, Kunti Devi's prayers, Prithu Maharaj's prayers, Brahma's prayers, and we see that, so these prayers are so powerful because all these pure devotees, their prayers are full of love and devotion. And when we repeat those prayers, Krishna becomes very attracted, and then he'll be very pleased. So especially in this Bhishma Panchaka, we can try to read this Bhishma Stuti, and then we only read the translation. It is nice to read the purport because Srila Prabhupada very beautifully elaborates and explains very nicely. So then we will be able to appreciate more. So that's one thing. So coming to Bhishma Panchaka, so this is a little bit we spoke about Bhishma Dev. So such a very dear devotee of the Lord. So this last 5 days, we want to remember Bhishma Dev. And then starting from tomorrow, which is Ekadasi. So there are different levels, So what are the benefits? Scriptures say that if one follows, there are different scriptures, different things, maybe a couple of them, we can read it out. Hari Bhakti Vilas, says that if one is capable, one should observe fasting from certain footsteps on the Bhishma Panchaka for the pleasure of the Lord. The fast should begin by remembering Bhishma Dev on the Ekadasi day and then end on the Purnima. And yeah, the Padma Puran says that if you follow the Bhishma Panchaka, one pleases the Lord and makes spiritual advancement by such a so the Lord gets very pleased because Bhishma Dev is so dear to the Lord, and when we follow the Bhishma Panchaka, which was followed by Bhishma Dev himself in the last 5 days, so the Lord becomes very pleased, and he can help us to spiritually progress. And not only that, whoever chants, reads, hears, and fasts on this auspicious on this 5 days, the Lord will shower pure love, to them. So like that, and also many, just by hearing the glories of Bhishma Dev and then this Bhishma Panchaka, one can get rid of millions of sins committed many lifetimes. Imagine just hearing has so much potency. What to speak about following and this 5 days sincerely. So much blessings one gets, and one gets rid of, washes off so many sinful reactions. And there are different ways of fasting mentioned there. So there is one level 1 fasting, level 2 fasting, and level 3 fasting. So in the level 1 fasting, basically, all the cow products, the different cow products, one can take on the different days. So one day, like one will be able to take the milk one day. So that is a level 1, which is quite hard. Generally, people go for level 2 and level 3. But anyway, I would just say this. One consume the products of the cow, Panchagavya, each day, one. First day, cow dung. Second day, cow urine, little. And third day, cow milk. Fourth day, cow yogurt. And fifth day, all the products of the cow mixed. That is Panchagavya. So this is what level 1 people will follow. Level 2 is something which many can try if they don't have no health issues and things like that, then they can try to follow this. Basically, it is fruits and roots. Recommended that, but it's not compulsory. It's recommended that someone who is following this level 2, fruits and roots, Ekadasi, that is tomorrow, Uttana Ekadasi, one can try to fast completely, and then the next, the rest of the days they can follow fruits and roots, or all the days they can follow fruits and roots. And fruits with many seeds should be avoided, like guava, pomegranate, papaya, cucumber. So apart from that, all other fruits can be taken. Then boiled potatoes, raw banana, sweet potatoes, all this. So basically, we are not going to use oil or ghee or any cooking happens. It's either boiling or baking. Only two things. And then sea salt can be added, for can be added for taste. And then cashew nuts are allowed. Raisins and dates can be taken. But no milk products are taken in this level of fasting. Coconut water, grated coconut, all these things can be taken. So in this is a level 2 fasting, fruits and roots, quite manageable, everyone can try. And this year it is only 4 days. So tomorrow 12th Uttana Ekadasi, 13, 14 and 15 is Rasa Purnima or Kartik Purnima. So only this year 4 days. So, and evening, basically the evening we will break the fast. Sorry. Evening we break the fast on the Kartik Purnima after moonrise, seeing the moon. It's a grain prasadam, because people ask after breaking, what are you going to this thing? Is that we can have the normal grain prasadam. We can have. So basically, it is like 4.5. Yeah, almost. So it's quite easy to do. And then the level 3 fast is that one can have havishya. It is a kind of what do you call khichdi? It's a kind of khichdi, but not the actual khichdi. And they have the certain menus. I mean, the recipe is given, not the recipe as such, but yeah, the what are the different items, ingredients we can use. So that is given. So we are actually sharing. We have already shared this file in many of the groups, so we can get it from there. It's a big list of items which can be used, and there are some items which has to be avoided. It's called Havishya level 3 fast, And then people do give tarpana for Bhishma Dev, because a tarpana for a pure devotee is great, especially because Bhishma Dev didn't have a child. So everyone is considered as a child, for a great Vaishnava. So in that sense, one can, like a spiritual son, spiritual daughters, one can offer tarpana to, Bhishma Dev. So sometimes people may get confused, or may get a bit this thing that, you know, um, Bhish, Tarpana we should give only when after the person passed away. But Bhishma Dev, Uttarayanam only he left the body. So how do we understand this? So basically, Tarpana is something which can be done at any point of time, basically, remembering and offering oblations. So that can be done at any time of the year. It is not like Shraddha. Shraddha is like, the annual tithi, where, we see the death anniversary of a person, the tithi, one has to perform. So this is not Shraddha. This is actually Tarpana. So Tarpana can be done. That's not a problem. So just to clarify that we do this. And there are Tarpan mantras are given, especially when we are in near any holy rivers. It can be done in Ganga. One can offer this 3 times and say this mantras. There is a Tarpana, Argya and Pranam mantras. Then other thing which we can do is the offering. Different day, different things can be offered. The first day, we offer a lotus to the lotus feet of the Lord, lotus flower. Second day, bilva, that is wood apple leaves, on the thigh of the Lord. Third day, gandha scent to the navel of the Lord. Fourth day, we offer java flowers to the shoulder of the Lord. And the fifth day, malati flowers to the head. Uh, so when there is an overlap of days, then the flowers for both the days can be offered in the same day. Like for example, we have only now 4 days. So the last day we can offer both the flowers. The fourth day flower and the fifth day flower. But sometimes we may wonder, I may not get Malati flowers, we may not get it here. So in that case, it is mentioned that mentally we can offer Malati flowers to the head of the Lord. So that is also accepted. So when we can get it physically, we can offer physically. When we are not able to get physically, then we can offer mentally. So these are some of the things. If anyone has got any questions in this matter, I just want to open it so we can clarify. So main thing is that we want to pray very nicely to Bhishmadev, and then beg for his blessings, so we can all these 4 days we can very nicely intensify all the spiritual activities, like extra rounds, like Ekadasi is coming tomorrow. So apart from fasting, we can also, try to do 64 rounds, 48 rounds, 32 rounds, whatever, kind of extra rounds. Reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, at least some stipulated time we can do. And then also more home program, the mood of, we see Bhishma Dev, the Mahajanas, like Prahlad Maharaj is also a Mahajana. So the mood of the Mahajanas are selfless. We see that. If Devavrata, the Bhishma Dev, if he has a thought, like, okay, he got Icha Mrityu, he could have used the Icha Mrityu long time only, remember the Lord and go back to God at that time only. No, but he took the responsibility for the entire Kuru dynasty there, need to see that the Dharma is protected. So he did his part, and then he also, gave all the valuable instructions, and he saw the well-being of the whole dynasty, and then welfare of the entire citizens, because if the right king is there, yata raja tata praja. So these Mahajanas are selfless people. They are always thinking of welfare of others. Prahlad Maharaj also, when, Nrsingadev came and said that, my dear Prahlad, I'm so satisfied, so pleased. Let's go back. Let's go back home, back to Godhead. But Prahlad Maharaj says, oh, my dear Lord, how can I come? There are many people here, suffering in this material world, and how can I just leave them and come? Let all of them get, liberated. Then I will come at the end. This is the mood of the Mahajanas, the great personalities. So we have to follow. That is what I say, Mahajana ena gata sapanta. Following the footsteps of the great personalities means we want to pray to the Lord to develop that selfless mood, because generally in this material world or in the conditioned state, what gives me happiness, or my happiness, my extended family happiness, or my community happiness, everything is so it is always seeking that enjoying spirit, what I can get, what I can, so there's a lot of selfishness there. But these personalities are teaching us how to become selfless, how to think of others, how to develop the mood of giving, without expectation. Generally, when we give, also there is an expectation. Oh, I did so much for this person didn't even bother to look at me. He didn't smile at me. He got upset with me, so we become so upset for very petty things in this material world, because we are so conditioned. We have so much of expectation from this world, and expectation is the mother of dissatisfaction in this material world. uh, we are conditioned, and we are expecting something from another conditioned soul. What do we get? We only get dissatisfaction. So we have to understand that we have to invest everything, in the Supreme Lord and in pure devotees, hearing about them. Then we can develop the mood of selflessness. And in the mood of selflessness, we won't get bothered or agitated much. Even the other person, is not reciprocating the way we want, we expect them to reciprocate. So when we cultivate this quality of selflessness, what happens even in our family life can be a better life, a happy life, because there is anyway wife, children, family, extended family members, and naturally we have some expectation. They have to behave like this, they have to speak like this and that. But when we develop this attitude of selflessness and mood of serving others, mood of giving to others, that's what Bhishma Dev whole life, that's what he did, you know and Prahlad Maharaj did the same. So when this quality, we are praying to the Lord to develop that quality, that we develop the mood of being true servant. That is our own constitutional position, our original constitutional position. But it is now other way around. We want to always enjoy. And what happens every time the enjoyment gets frustrated, that attempts, the enjoying attempts are getting baffled, and we get frustrated every moment. But when we turn that into the other way of serving others, not caring for what am I getting, because Krishna knows what we do for this. He knows how to reciprocate. But when we expect that from this materialistic world, we only will end up, in frustration. So here Bhishmadev is showing, that even though he was, Duryodhana and others were actually, and even Pandavas sometimes have to mistake Bhishmadev, but he was very strong, and he knows what he was doing, and then he surrendered to the Lord. So through Bhishma Dev, we understand this, develop the mood of selfless servant, of how to serve Krishna without any tag attached, motive attached. How we can develop that mood of serving. When we try to develop that mood to Krishna, to Guru, to the pure devotees, and to the Vaishnavas, and to the family as such, naturally we will become very happy. We are trying to change everyone, but nothing will work unless we change. It is better we change, and maybe we changing may inspire others to change, rather than expecting others to change and then we get frustrated. Rather, we change to become a better servant of Krishna. And a servant means that the spirit of giving the best to others, or making an attempt to please others. So when we cultivate this nature, And naturally, what happens that it will inspire others, and one day maybe others will also get inspired. Rather than we expect why this person is behaving like this, why that person is behaving like this. And we are trying, and we want everyone to change, but we are not ready to change. But then when we read this pure devotee's life, they just did their best. Everyone else changed automatically. So that's the thing. So we want to develop that mood of selflessness and the mood, the determined mood of determined, the determined mood. We see that throughout whatever challenge came, he was so determined. Bhishma, very, very determined. So we want to, we want to pray to Krishna that we develop this mood of determination in following our Krishna conscious practice, because getting Krishna consciousness itself is rare, but maintaining is even more rare. So we don't want to slip this jewel at any point of time in our life. We want to value and cherish and protect this rare jewel we have got in our life. And these are the special moments where we can remember these pure devotees and take advantage of this auspicious moments and intensify our consciousness, not just the external activity, not just fasting, not just putting a flower in front of the Lord, but from the heart, doing things from the heart, doing things from a, trying to make an attempt to offer things in a pure consciousness. That matters a lot, not just the external thing. So that is something we want to focus more in this next few days. So in that way, we want to please Bhishmadev, we want to please Krishna, and we can become useful instruments, pleasing instruments in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please use the chat box, or you can just unmute and ask, and I will end ending here. Thank you so much. Actually, we thought of doing the CC, and then we thought tomorrow being Bhishma Panchaka, we are getting an opportunity to glorify Bhishma Dev and also say a few words about Bhishma Panchaka. So thought we will dedicate this session for that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments, questions, or you have anything else to add, please feel free to unmute and then you can say. And also, so the reason I said this was because we have only few days left. So the mood of Bhishma Dev and all these great Mahajanas is to give out the mercy to others, seeing the well-being of others. So we want to use this time also to see that we can do more programs. We can reach out to many people and involve them. Let them also get the mercy. Whoever has not got the mercy, if we have any friends, colleagues, anywhere we can book some programs and give this mercy, that would be amazing. That's very, very pleasing to the Lord. So we can do, yeah, I can see one question was that, Mataji. How or what time do we offer Tarpana? Yeah. So how is that, there is a video there, how to offer Tarpana. So we can see that video, which we will be sharing in that group. And what time is that? Generally, afternoon is good. We try to avoid evening after evening. If we can do before evening anytime, that should be okay, Mataji. And the procedures and everything is simple procedures. It's given in a video, and then I think we can follow that. Is that okay? We will share that video.
So, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, oh yeah, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, and Mataji, this 5 days, the flowers which have to offer different flowers. So all the description, I mean, the foods, the prasad to eat, and the food, will you be sharing it on the group?
Yeah, Mataji, we have already shared some things like we will ask all the leaders to share in the respective groups, Mataji. We have level 1, what are the different things? Level 2, what are the different
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's all details.
It will be there, yeah? Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. That's
Sure,
fine. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, anything else there? So we will share the video, we will share this list again of all the things what we can offer, and then what are the different levels of fasting. So we can all try our best, to do it. So that's it. Is there anything else? Ranjini, my Prabhu, are you there? Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
So
Krishna.
I'll forward to Venu Mataji Mataji. Like,
Yeah.
Please,
Mataji is
Prabhu,
not
Yeah,
in
yeah,
any
yeah.
group, so
that'll
I'll
be
forward to
Offerings to the
Mataji.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be very nice. Anything else? Prabhu, we have any other announcements or anything? So, yeah, we are almost devotees. I just want to give you an update. Devotees are all doing this. I'm just checking. The Damodar programs, many programs are happening. Still, we are little behind our target offering. So we request all the devotees, together, everyone puts the effort, then it is possible for us to reach. So we have still Monday is gone now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 4 days evening left, not only evenings, daytime also. So if we can, if the leaders and the team work together, then it will be really nice. We all can together will be able to make it. So let's all give our best on this last 4 days. Apart from our sadhana, achar and prachar both are important. So achar comes under all our practice like chanting, reading, hearing, offering, fasting. All this comes under achar. Prashar is also important because this benefits others. So achar is for all, for us, to connect more, to purify ourselves, and to deepen our consciousness, enrich our consciousness, purify our consciousness. So achar is very important. Prachar also purifies us, but it actually helps others also. So both are very important. So in this 4 days which we have got, we want to intensify both our achar and prachar very deeply. So in that way, we all can offer a wonderful Damodar offering at the Kartik Purnima at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So we request everyone's cooperation and then team effort together to do this. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. So we'll
Hare
show that.
Krishna Mataji, Pranam.
Jai, pranams Mataji, Hari Bol.
Can I question?
Yes, please.
Um, tomorrow Ekadashi. After tomorrow, break Ekadashi. How can I eat?
Very good point. Mataji has brought a very good point. I forgot to mention that. See, the thing is that if someone is normal Ekadasi, they are doing normal Ekadasi means like they're not following Bhishma Panchaka fasting, but general Ekadasi fasting, then of course they have to break the next day, that is Wednesday. The time is very short time. I think it is somewhere 7:15 to 7:30, maybe 15-20 minutes only is there breaking. So they can put one grain. But people who are actually doing Bhishma Panchaka, this is what I heard, maybe double check that one, is that people who are doing Bhishma Panchaka fast with the roots and fruits, they don't have to break the fast, they are going to continue their fast.
Yeah, just eat food.
That's
okay.
it. Only fruit root, that's it. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no breaking in the middle.
Yeah, okay. Friday, can I
Break.
or no?
Yeah,
or no?
Friday you can break. Yes, Mataji. Friday evening, after you see moon, in the evening.
Okay.
When you see the moon, then you can have grain prasad. You can have grain prasad.
Prasad,
Normal prasad.
rice
Rice, yeah. Normal rice, dal, whatever, you can have.
A big Rajbhog.
Big Rajbhog, yes.
And eating?
Yes. Big
Okay,
Rajbhog.
thank you.
Evening,
Thank you
fast.
so much.
Very good question, Mataji. And people, some devotees will be fasting Ekadasi without water. So then the next day, they can break the fast with water. So that they can do. And people who are only water fasting, the next day they can take some fruit and then break the fast. But people who are eating fruits, they have to just continue,
Okay.
and give you the fruits.
Okay. I think tomorrow I
Fruits?
think fasting and water.
Wow, very nice. Wonderful, Mataji. Good. Okay, excellent.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dhanwan Pranam. One question, Mataji.
Yes, please, Mataji.
For level 1, if I'm doing level 1, I think it's cow urine tomorrow. So if it's Ekadasi as well, can we have that or not?
I think the Bhishma Panchaka devotees don't have to fast. This is what I heard normally. But we can clarify one more time. But I've heard that you just follow. Because if you take a grain, you are broken, the Bhishma Panchaka.
Not grain, I'm asking. Oh, yeah. So obviously not Ekadasi, but because I'm doing the level 1, it's
Yeah,
only.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whether it's level 1, level 2, both we are not breaking the Ekadasi with any grain. We are not breaking.
Yeah,
For
so you
both
just continue.
Yeah, we just continue for level 1, level 2. Only level 3 people they can because they are doing Havishya, which is already a grain.
Yeah.
So Ekadasi, they won't eat anything. They will only eat fruits and stuff like that. So the next day, Havishya, they can break, with Havishya, which is a grain.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Mataji.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
it's clear. Okay, then.
Excuse me, Mataji, please.
Ah,
Tomorrow, can I give a flower gada?
flower?
Gada, flower, gada flower.
Gulab.
My garden have a gada.
Oh, yeah,
Gulab.
why not? You can give any flowers you like, Mataji. But additionally, tomorrow, one of the important flowers, if you can get, is lotus flower. You put all the flowers, no problem. But if
Okay.
you can get lotus, then you can offer at the feet of the Lord tomorrow. First day, the recommended flower is lotus.
Okay.
Other flowers also we can offer. But if you can get lotus, you can offer. If you don't get lotus, you pray to Krishna. You remember mentally, I am offering a lotus to Krishna's lotus feet. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. I think done. Okay. So nice questions. Thank you, devotees. And Ranjini, my Prabhu, has shared some files, so you can see that. And I will just quickly show darshan and then we end here. If you don't have any other questions. Gauranga. Just give me a second. I'm just quickly darshan.
বুঝাইলিছি মাথা দিলে কইলিছি বলতা হইতাম পারছি কইছে এই ইয়েতে বন্ধতে মেঘে মেঘে কে দাঁড়িয়েছে ভুলে গেছি এই
Prabhu, can you see?
No, Mataji.
Mataji.
No, not it. Yeah, let me highlight 1 second. Hope everyone can see now.
Can you see, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, I can see. जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्री पंचतत्व भगवान की, श्री लड्डू गोपाल की, जय श्री यशोदानंदन दामोदर भगवान की, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की, जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।
Very good. Thank you so much, Prabhu, and thank you all the devotees. Wish you all a very happy Bhishma Panchaka, and hope you all can intensify our sadhana and our preaching for the pleasure of Krishna.
Hare
Very
Krishna,
good.
Mataji, Dhanwan Pranam. Wishing you a very happy Bhishma Panchaka.
Panchaka.
All the devotees as well.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Hare Krishna.
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রণাম প্রণাম সবাই
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
হরে কৃষ্ণ